I've got a pretty cool rip for us today on the channel. I decided to pick up a box of 1986 Topps in a vending box. I kind of like the vending box almost more than I like wax boxes. The old wax boxes, as you know, yeah, they're fun. It's nostalgic. It reminds you of being a kid again, tearing packs, the whole thing. It's exciting to open packs. Everybody loves it. But you get gum stains, you get wax stains. You sometimes get card damage just from the packs jostling around. And so the vending packs were an interesting concept. I think many of you may remember when you were younger, they used to have these 25-cent packs or so where you'd pull it and get a couple of cards, which was usually kind of fun just to see what would come out of these boxes. And these cards would just get loaded vertically in these machines. But anyway, so I picked this up. I normally am not a huge proponent of doing BBCE certified because most of the junk wax that I buy and the junk cards I buy, nobody's taking the time to try to counterfeit those. But with vending boxes, it is important because someone could easily search those, and then you would know that they have been searched, and anything you may want to value has already been kind of pilfered through. The other thing that I'm really worried about is not the cards being taken out of it, because 86 doesn't necessarily have any one specific highly valuable card, but that they could potentially get damaged. And the whole goal here is that I could have a shot at getting a PSA 10. And some of the ones that we're looking for, of course, are the Nolan Ryan, which I think is the crown jewel of 86 when it comes to trying to find a gem mint potential card. But also there's a few other great ones, right? A ton of Hall of Famers in that set. The George Brett, the Eddie Murray, the Ricky Henderson, the Don Mattingly. There's a ton there, right? And I'm leaving a bunch of guys out right now. I believe Harold Baines might even be in this set. So that would obviously be a huge pull here. And there are 500 cards in this box, and I believe 86 Topps had, it was either 660 or 790. I think it may have been 700 and so cards. So you're not guaranteed to get every card in the set, of course. You have a good shot, of course. So basically you buy these, it's like buying one giant pack of cards. So let's see if we can't get this to pop open here. Carefully using my preferred method, which is a razor blade. All right, here's the big reveal. There it is. Beautiful. All PSA 10, of course. 1986 Topps. All right, I'm gonna flip this over and we'll get into the reveal. All right, so obviously I had a break there. I opened the box. I've kind of positioned them where I can sort through. I've already noticed a couple cards off center, a couple cards have some soft corners. Like there's just nothing you can do about it. I'm guessing if the date was 1986 right now, that's what you're gonna get from this set. I've always hated 86 Topps the more I've opened this and looked at it. So let's see what we got here. Like, as you can see, straight out of the pack, this card has a dinged corner. The borders are jacked up. I mean, it's going to be near impossible to pull a PSA 10 out of these. I'll just tell you right now, I just have no confidence. So let's see what we got. Got Sid Bream, Rick Shue. What is going on? Oh, there's another card behind it. I love the way these are all up and down too. Drives me insane. All right, there's our first Hall of Famer. One Rollie Fingers. There's a cool card. All right, Storm Davis. I always liked pulling those Storm Davis cards. I thought that was a cool name as a kid. Alejandro. Hey, there's a checklist. You gotta love the checklist. Joe Necro, Mark Sullivan, Steve Lake, Sixto. There's Ray Knight. Some Mets favorite. Candelaria, Mike Jones. I do not remember him. There's Mike Hargrove, spent some time managing the Tribe. All right. Dunbar's Buddy Bell, also probably a better manager than player. But there's Herzog, obviously a legendary manager. I believe he might be in the Hall, right? As a manager. Manny Lee, another checklist. Pat Clemens. All right, so pulled a rollie out of that first block. Let's keep on moving here. Got a Harper, Frank something or other. Julio Franco. This guy played for another 40 years after this picture was taken. Jackie Moore. That almost looked like that 86 traded Canseco for a second. Bill Stein. There's Mark Langston. I think that might be a second-year Langston, I believe. Looks like his rookie year was actually 84, but I don't remember if he had an 84 card or not. Gary Matthews. Gonzalez. Bobby Brown. That's his prerogative. Juan Berenguer. There's Goose. There's another Hall of Famer. Let's put our Goose up here. Tony Phillips, Sean Dunston. There's one Cecil Fielder. That is a rookie card, I believe, a Cecil. There's a interesting pull. I'll put him over just left of camera there. Von Hayes. I always liked Von Hayes. Thought he was an underrated player. Atlee Hammaker. That actually might be a Hammaker rookie card. It is not. Most definitely not. 81 looks like his rookie year. Some of these feel thicker than others, which I know, like this one, there's a card stuck to the back here. Dave Johnson. Always liked that mustache. He was channeling his inner Ron Jeremy on that one. Jim Ganter, Jerry Hairston. All right. All right, let's keep this reveal a-rolling. Darwin, Allen, Phelps. Ooh, there's Willie McGee. Was always a big Willie fan. He was a handsome gentleman. Could run, could steal some bases. Carter was a great catcher for the Mets. Venable. Ooh, Mookie Wilson, another one of my favorites. Ooh, Paul Molitor, another Hall of Famer. All right, Danny Cox. Phil Necro. Greg Pryor. Who's on that 85 Royals championship team. Eddie Milner, I'm not going to bother with that one. There's Vida Blue. Great pitcher. Played with a lot of greats as well. Gary Gaetti. Great mustache, not in the Hall of Fame. Hey, here we go. All right, here is the one we've been looking for. I can already tell it is not a PSA 10, so sorry, Darren. The borders are actually tip-top on this thing. I mean, I'd say from an overall border and corner perspective, I don't think you can get much better than this. But unfortunately, I think you guys can probably tell pretty quick off there that the centering is off just a little tiny bit. Looks like over to the right a bit, but man, fantastic look at Nolan though. Look at those corners, look at the edges. Oh my God, that's a beauty. Well, maybe we'll get another one and that one will actually be centered. That's the other risk of these things. You just can never rely on the centering to help you out either. I mean, even if you get one that's perfect. Joe Carter, 30-30 guy. Man, I was excited to get that card, but a little disappointed in the centering. Just cannot win them all. Rich Bordy. Rich is not the Yankee I'm looking for. I really want to get that Mattingly. Maybe I'll get a shot at a Mattingly 10. All right. Got a bunch of more stacks. Let's keep the excitement flowing here. Mark Hill, Danny Pasqua. He spent time on about every organization in the league. Lee Lacy, Randy St. Clair. Oh, I was hoping it might be another Nolan. And that one's actually still a little tiny bit off center, but not nearly as much as the Nolan. Brooke Jacoby. You know, I'll be honest, I haven't, well, there we go. There's Gary Matthews as a double. I was getting ready to say, I jinxed myself that there aren't too many doubles so far, but actually seeing that double Matthews gets me excited that there might be a double Astro in there that I'm looking for. There's another Bobby Brown. Another Goose. Man, I'm feeling good about that double Nolan, I'm probably getting excited for no reason. This entire stack is a double from that stack that I went through earlier. Let's keep going here. I don't remember which stack was which and who was on top and whatever. I guess it doesn't really matter. Again, a few more doubles in here. Hey man, I'm not hating it. I've got a Nolan, which means I might have another one in this stack if I've got the same flow going here. Willie Upshaw. Rance Mulliniks. So a friend of mine talked me into reading a book called The Wax Pack, and Mulliniks was one of the players featured in that book. It's an interesting story with this guy's fanship of Rance Mulliniks, a guy I'd never actually even heard of, even though I'd had his cards. All right, here is the boss himself, Ken Griffey Sr. Let's put that next to the Nolan. Comparable careers. All right, Dave Smith, there's the rotation mate to Ryan. I had a friend named Dave Smith growing up, and so and he collected cards, so I always gave him all my Dave Smith cards. Super nice guy, actually a dad of a friend of mine. Man, Don Baylor. This sucker is so off-centered that it's got the name of somebody down below. I wonder if I could make that name out. Oh man, that's wild. That is a piece of garbage. Gary Maddox, you know that guy did. Never mind. All right, let's see here. Roy Smith, Dave Steeb. There's Kirk Gibson. Looks like that exact same swing of every single one of his at-bats. It's a good card. Dave Henderson had a solid career, but man, that's a junk card. Here we go, Hall of Famer Lee Smith. This card's actually in pretty decent condition. I wouldn't say it's a 10, but oh, there we go, Ripken. So this Ripken actually is in pretty good shape, and that centering, I don't know. I don't know if I'm confident saying any of these would actually be PSA 10s, but that Ripken is pretty close to on center. Top to bottom's great. Left to right's off by maybe a millimeter, but that's pretty sharp. Tiny bit of like the just fuzz that you have on every one of these, but no card loss. So yeah, that one might be a winner for sure. All right, where's my pile? Is it here? Yeah, Ashby, got good old Frank White, who's turned into a bit of a douche in terms of being a politician that's hard to work with. I think he truly wants what's best for the city, but he doesn't often agree with the rest of the folks. He's on the city council in Kansas City. All right, here we go. The next big hitter. The Don. One Don Mattingly. All right, let me sleeve that Mattingly up because, man, that thing is in nice condition. I like this card a lot. Centering is pretty solid. I mean, again, it might be off by like a millimeter, but, man, that is pretty damn solid. I'm liking that one. All right, there's Ozzie Guillen. I like Guillen's passion. I think it's a guy that just really has a love for the game and not afraid to speak his mind. All right, here's a Pete. Man, that card is in amazing condition. This one actually might 10. I mean, it's got the fuzz of all these on top, but this looks like a sleeve that I haven't cut. I don't know if you guys cut your sleeves, but like, I hate destroying a bottom of a card because it won't go in a damn penny sleeve. I want to force it in there. It's just junk. All right, I'm gonna quickly show everyone my my method of penny sleeves. I always take and I cut the corner off of every one of these, which is painstaking, but man, you don't destroy your card trying to get it in there. So run that corner in, it slides right in, no damage to the card. Increase your shot at getting the grade you're looking for. All right, so far this has been pretty solid. There's Daryl Motley. I was able to meet him a couple of times in person, shake his hand, super nice guy, good player. Frank Viola, the guy who I always think is in the Hall, but he is not. He is a Twins Hall of Famer. Pete Ladd. I don't know if he's related to Cheryl. Here's Jesse Barfield, who I always thought was like the greatest player in the world back in the late 80s. Like, This guy was a slugger, but not what I would consider an all-around star. There's Tommy John, man. Can you believe a guy that looks like that was still throwing what he could at that time? I mean, guy looks like he's 62 years old. Al Nipper, Terry Leach, Augusto, Bud Black, another World Series winner, Glenn Hubbard, and Mike Madden. Oh, don't forget our Ed Lynch, who's a catcher, I believe. No, pitcher. And Steve Lyons. All right, let's keep this stack going. Thad Bosley. I think he replaced Leon Durham as the first baseman eventually in Chicago. But my facts could be off. I'm going by memory on that. Denny Martinez, El Presidente. Fisher. I kind of want that Ricky Henderson card now. That's one I'm going for. I'd like the Brett and I'd like the Henderson. Those are a couple I wouldn't mind. Oh, here's a fantastic one. I'm going to go ahead and put a pause on trying to pull that Lynn Sakata card out. Although I do want to look at that Lynn Sakata because that's an interesting fact with Lynn Sakata. All right, let's, I'm going to put it on pause here while I grab some more penny sleeves. All right, got that Gwynn sleeved up. It looks pretty sharp. Again, I don't think I have a chance at getting a 10 on this. The bottom edge is just a little bit wonky. I mean, I don't know if they'll count against me on that or not. Centering's off again by maybe a millimeter. I mean, it's pretty damn close on there. It's a great card. I like that Gwynn. I forgot about that one in the set. And while I was grabbing those sleeves, I was just wondering, does anyone else have another strategy they use with regards to the penny sleeves to make sure they get them in there without damaging the cards? I sleeved up an entire 79 Topps set, and during that process, I realized, like, you know, really quick, it is destroying the cards. All right, got another Pete Rose. This one is the less desirable manager card, which I'm kind of happy that the other one was in the shape it is, and this one's in the shape it is, because this card is a piece of garbage. It's off-centered like crazy. It's got a ding in the top corner. Still a cool card for the Hit King. All right, and then the Lynn Sakata. So with a lot of the Asian players we have in the game today, of course, with the Otanis and Yoshida and Kodai Senga, there's a lot of great Asian players in the game today. I wondered if there were any Asian players back in the mid-'80s when we used to collect, and Lynn Sakata's name popped up, and a friend of mine said, no, I think he might be Hawaiian. And so, sure enough, Lynn Sakata, born in Honolulu. So, still Asian, of course, but not Japanese or Korean, like we have a lot of the big stars today that are coming over having great careers, but still, I would say a great nod to a major leaguer, and probably not too many native Hawaiians. All right, let's keep churning through this stack. Here was one that I saw some clear evidence of damage. You can see on that corner. That is one of the downsides of these vending boxes. Depending on where the card is in that box, it could get dinged around a little bit. I almost suspect that they got dinged around while they're being put in the box, but anyway. All right, there's big slugger Rob Deere. I'll be honest, I didn't even remember he was on the Giants. I just remember him with his time in Milwaukee. All right, here's another Hall of Famer. One Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz. That card's got some jizz stain on the top of it above the R, which is also a little unfortunate because, man, that's in fantastic condition. I mean, that is a pretty clean Ozzie. Stick that sucker in a sleeve next to Hitmaster Tony. All right, got a 86 Darren Dalton. Darren Dalton was a friend of our family. I never got to meet him personally. He was a little older than I was at the time. Born in Ark City, Kansas. Better known as Arkansas City, not Arkansas City, but Arkansas City. We called it Ark City, and it was about 30 miles from my hometown. And so that's a kind of a special card for me as well there. And Darren, I believe, actually passed away recently, if I remember right. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he passed away a few years back. All right. Danny Heap. I always thought that was a great, like, heel name for a player. Mike Scioscia. Johnny Grubb. Mel Hall, got a Mike Scott. They had a pretty good rotation for the Stros that year. Gerald Perry, Glenn Hoffman. There's a Ozzie Smith All-Star card. That's in pretty nice shape. It's a little off-center top to bottom, but otherwise that's a really clean Ozzie. All right, Bob Forsch, Bob Boone, Ben Ogilvie. I think Ogilvie was he runner-up for Rookie of the Year or close to it? I believe yeah, I don't believe I'm thinking of the right guy. Yeah, never mind. All right, there's a Ricky Henderson, not the one I was going for. There's the All-Star Ricky Henderson. That card is in pretty nice condition as well. Not what I would consider a 10, but pretty close. 10s are tough in these. That's why they cost so much. And there's a Mattingly that's all just dinged to hell in that corner. You can really see it at that angle. I'll drop it in the pile nonetheless. All right, let's keep on sorting here. The pack that never ends, the vending box. Rance Mullenix, I got 2 of those. If anybody wants one, I'm willing to let it go for the right price. Al Holland, Templeton. Ooh, there's another Ken Griffey. Buddy Biancalana. Where was Buddy Biancalana born? Larkspur, California. Lived in Overland Park. There's another Dave Smith. All right, come on. I got these doubles bubbling up here. Let's double us up a Nolan Ryan. Bill Russell, Larry Herndon, Bob Baylor. Britt Burns. Trying to be careful here because, man, I could be holding a $2,000 Nolan Ryan card. Go look it up. PSA 10 Nolan Ryan goes for $2,000. So I would definitely consider that a chase card. Mike Brown. Man, I bet this guy could not keep the ladies off of him with those shades. Guy has it going on. All right, folks, let's keep trucking here. It looks like we're about, what, I don't know, third of the way, or 2/3 of the way through, third of the way to go. Denny Walling, Clint Hurdle, Brooke Jacoby, Dave Sachs, Tommy Herr, Francona. A lot of managers in here. Here's one of the Pete Rose tribute cards or whatever you call it. I kind of like these. I mean, it was kind of a fun concept at the time. I don't like these cards in general, but it's not a bad set. All right, I got another Hall of Famer. Tom Seaver. It's not a bad looking card. I definitely would not call this Seaver a 10 either. These are just tough, I'm telling you. That's why the 10s go for so much. I think you could send a bunch of these into PSA if you were so inclined, and you would likely be extremely disappointed with the 7s, 8s, and 9s you're getting back. There's the Ripken All-Star. That one's actually in pretty good shape. It's pretty well-centered top to bottom. Lenny Dykstra, Dave Schmidt, Ron Darling, Ernie Witt, Manny Trio, Juan Beniquez. All right, this is just bonkers here. I got to show you guys this a little bit better. First, I want to look at this Daryl Boston card. I like Daryl Boston. There he is, big Daryl Boston. He coaches first base now, I think, for the Sox, and I loved yelling his name because I always liked him as a player for some reason. And nice guy. Probably thought I was goofing on him, but I wasn't. I just am a weird Daryl Boston fan. All right, so here's a Pirates leaders card. I don't know if I can get this. Yeah, there you go. In this angle, look at these 3 creases. This is fresh out of the box. And there are 3 massive creases that go all the way across. You can really see it on the back as well. I'm going to try to get an angle. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's a mess. So if anybody's a Johnny Ray or a Rick Russell fan, probably going to be disappointed in that one. Imagine pulling an otherwise perfect Nolan out of here that was beat to shit like that. Del Barra, Glenn Davis, Jim Rice, All right, I got to admit, I can't remember. Is Rice in the Hall of Fame? Let me know. I think he is. That card is way off center, but sometimes I forget about some of these 80 stars. Like, I don't really think they deserve to be there. If you have to sit and ask yourself, wait, is that guy in the Hall of Fame? Then the answer is he probably frickin' shouldn't be. All right, here is an Eddie Murray. He was one of the cards that I kind of wanted out of this set. This is a little bit off center as well, but I'm going to go ahead and sleeve it up because I can afford it. I'm rich. I can afford the 1.5 cents that this sleeve is costing me to forever protect my Eddie Murray card. All right, got a Dave Collins. I knew a Dave Collins when I was in high school. Probably not the same dude. All right, guys, we got a lot of cards to go. Hope you're hanging with me here. Maybe watching on 2x speed. Already muted the TV hours ago. Brett Butler. Scott Geralds. I don't know why people aren't bigger on these vending boxes. I really like these. For the most part, obviously there's been a few exceptions. The cards are in pretty good shape. It's like a huge pack. You just get to keep grinding through. You just get, I think, a few less cards than you do in a wax box. I think a wax box is 540 cards, I believe. 36 packs, 15 per pack. Is that right? Something like that. All right, here we go. Another Hall of Famer, Ryan Sandberg. That Sandberg's not in terrible shape, but the top right corner is definitely dinged. So that's probably a PSA 7 at best right there. I wouldn't have sent him in if he was in perfect condition. Actually, I might have, because any of these in perfect condition, you are going to turn a profit. I would say if you had a Floyd Rayford PSA 10 and 86 Topps, you can probably get $50 for it. That's how tough it is to pull a PSA 10 in this. And I keep saying PSA because obviously that's the standard still. I'm not going to say they're my favorite, but oh, there we go. I got an off-center George Brett. All right, I don't want to sound ungrateful. I'm not really doing this for the investment of it. I'm just doing it because I have never bought these 86 Topps cards as a kid, even though I was really started with 87. And I've always loved that 87 set. I never liked the 86. And the reason I didn't like the 86 is because every time a friend of mine would bring them over to trade, they looked like that Pirates Leaders card, just all beaten to shit. They're just very condition sensitive. All right, I'm going to cover up Ken Griffey with my George Brett card. Sid Fernandez. Oh, and Onyx Concepcion. He was the shortstop there on the 85 team, I believe. Played 131 games. Got himself a ring. All right, folks, still got a significant stack to go here. Come on, let's give me some good mojo to pull another Nolan Ryan or two. Maybe I'll get two out of the bottom of this. I bet that's what's coming. Chris Pitaro. That gentleman looks like he may be Italian, from Trenton, New Jersey. McCaskill, Gary Woods, Kurt Bevacqua. I think there's an obscure stat about Kurt Bevacqua, but I can never remember what it is. But there's something significant there. I just, like I said, forgot. Had the chance to meet old Pat Sheridan in person once as well during a signing. It was really a kid's thing. I was probably about 10, 11 at the time. Pascual Perez. I always liked the Perez brothers, but I was a Braves fan as a kid. Which reminds me, there's a Dale Murphy in this box that or this set that I wouldn't mind pulling. All right, I got a Nolan, just not the right one. Maybe I'll set that Joe Nolan next to Nolan Ryan. There we go. That does it. Nolan Ryan, yeah, okay. All right, Greg Gagne. Oh, there's another card I would have been pumped to pull as a kid. I forgot about Eric Davis. I always thought this was his rookie card, but I was always confused. Maybe it's because people were always trying to trade it to me for my 87 Mike Greenwells. This card is an absolute mess. Like, it's got some diamonding at the bottom. It's off-centered to the bottom there, or bottom up a lot. Off-centered one way. I mean, they just kind of did their worst absolute effort with the Eric Davis there. All right, Jose Rio. Oh, here's a Royals checklist card. Let's see who's on the front of that. Is it Dickie Hauser? There it is. Dick Hauser died of brain cancer a few years later, unfortunately, but World Series winning manager. He also played, I believe, for the Yankees, if I remember right. I think he played shortstop, but I don't quite remember. There's Seinfeld great, Keith Hernandez. Man, that card is centered really well. I mean, it might be, again, a millimeter off, but it's got a little bit of road rash right here on the top right. So no chance at that one scoring that coveted 10. Maybe I start saying SGC 10. That coveted SGC 10. All right, Darnell Coles. Some guy, Ron Washington. There's another Hall of Famer, Steve Carlton. I'll sleeve that one up a little bit later. Oh, here we go. Here's a pretty great pull. Rookie card of one Vince Coleman. It's a touch off centered top to bottom as well as left to right, but otherwise pretty sharp looking card. Dinged a little bit in the top left corner, so I appreciate that. Bill Swift, Langford, Shelby, Chuck Porter, that's almost all the way off the page. Another checklist. I might have the entire checklist set. There's Jeff Leonard. Brent Gaff. There's another unfortunate name for a big leaguer. It looks like that nose could snort monster rails. Look at that thing. It looks 3D. It's so freaking big. Holy cow, look at that nostril. All right, there's Billy Martin. Man, I used to love watching Billy Martin's blood pressure just go from 0 to 1,000. That guy could argue like no other. There's Dusty Baker, championship manager. Got a Gorman Thomas. I picked up a Gorman Thomas rookie because I was like, man, this dude is the definition of a beer leaguer. I was like, there's no way the character in Major League wasn't based off Gorman Thomas. I mean, shit, it looks like he actually just took a break from playing to go film that movie. Thomas had a 45 home run season in 1979 and a 39 home run season in 82. So the guy had some power, but oh my gosh, he struck out a lot. As you can see there, led the league 2 years in a row, 175 and 170 strikeouts. Players of today would be jealous of those kind of numbers. All right, Hall of Famer Rod Carew. Card's a little bit banged up, but I'm going to drop it in my pile here. Bobby Cox. Bobby obviously honed his skills into Toronto so he could create a dynasty in Atlanta. Bobby Cox. Tippy. There's old Tippy. Jaredon Gleaton. Oh, here we go. Man, I wish that was in better condition. I got a real freaking bunk Roger Clemens. That sucks. That would have been a nice pull. Second year Roger Clemens, I believe. Second year, right? Man, that thing is just off center like the Dickens. The corners are pretty sharp. A little bit of rub up here on the top, maybe because it's so freaking far off centered. But anyway, I always like that Clemens card. All right, last pack here. Let's see what we got. Leon Durham. Lance McCullers Sr. Engelbert something or other. Wally Backman. Ivan Calderon. He's a big slugger. Come on. Give me at least one or two more. I'm being a little bit greedy, yeah, but why did I get doubles of freaking all these nobodies and not of the Texas Express? Oh, I thought I might have had it there. There's Sal Butera, whose son also played catcher in the bigs. May have won himself a World Series ring. I don't know if his father ever did. There's Tim Wallach, who's probably a Expos Ring of Honor guy or whatever they call it there in Washington now. Maybe. Julio Cruz, Ivan De Jesus. Lou Whitaker, sweet Lou Whitaker. There's another guy that you're probably thinking, that guy's not in the Hall of Fame, is he? But yeah, he is. He's not on the first floor, though. There's John Franco. Fireman Franco. All right, guys, only a handful left. You can slow down your video, make it last. Parrish, Slayton, there's Cecil Cooper, Mike Young, Greg Nettles, Charlie Liebrandt, Bob Picciolo, and Ramon Romero to close out this break. So, hey, I would say we did pretty damn good. We got a nice looking Nolan, just slightly off-centered, unfortunately. Picked up a couple goose gossages, got the Brett, got a very nice looking Ripken, got the really nice looking Mattingly. Unfortunately, we did not get the base card of Ricky Henderson. We did get the All-Star Ricky Henderson. Grabbed Sandberg, Eddie Murray, Tom Seaver, Ozzie Smith. Got both Pete Roses. Obviously got this nice looking Tony Gwynn. I would say all in all, a very successful box. So anyway, hope you enjoyed and would love to see your comments below. Thanks.